What good are tools if they aren't accurate? In this video, I'm going to be covering how to check for accuracy on some of the most used shop tools. I'd like to thank this video's sponsor, Fiverr. Starting with the most used tool, a tape measure. Usually it's the hook that goes bad. To check its accuracy, mark 8 inches on a board, then burn 2 inches. It should read exactly 10 inches. Now you can check with a corner application. Push the tape up against a scrap and see if your mark still lands on 8 inches. For a speed square, place the square against a straight edge. Now draw a line. Flip the square and compare the edge to your line. If it doesn't line up, then the square is off. To check level on a level, place it on a flat surface. Use a shim to shore up one side until the bubble reads exactly level. Now, while holding your hand on the shim to mark the level's placement, flip the level 180 and read level again. It should read the same. To check plumb on a level, you do the same process, but on a vertical surface. It's important you mark the location the level falls on the shim so that it can be placed in the same spot when you flip it around. On a miter saw, most fences are one piece and rarely a problem, but you can check it with a straight edge just to be sure. Set the saw to 0 and make a cut. Flip one piece from the cut over and realign them. No gap means it's cutting accurate. To show what would be an off saw, I place my saw on 2 degrees and repeated, and look at that gap that's created. You can do the same with an upright cut against the fence. First, make sure your bevel is set to 0. If you show a gap, then your saw is slightly tilted. Then last thing is to repeat with a 45. After making your cut, take the 2 pieces to a workbench and place them together. Now use a square to check its accuracy. Real quick, I want to thank this video sponsor, which is Fiverr. Fiverr is the largest marketplace for digital services in the world. They help you find the perfect freelance services for your business. You can choose from thousands of their talented professionals to help you grow your business and succeed, no matter where you're located or the size of your budget. I decided to connect with a Fiverr freelancing professional to help my website with SEO optimization. Finding someone awesome to do SEO management for my site was super easy with Fiverr. Within minutes, I found Zimma Media, who is a Fiverr pro and has tons of experience working with website SEO. I had a couple questions, so I used Fiverr's very convenient contact form to easily reach out to Zimma Media. After a quick response, I booked a package that includes keyword research, text optimization, and many more things that will improve my website rankings quickly. If you're ready to find a freelancer to help your business, then head over to the link in the description to see my curated store, where you can check out Fiverr sellers to develop your website and help your own business. Let's move on to the table saw. First, let's make sure the blade is parallel to the slots. To do this, fully raise the blade, then clamp a long level to it. Now clamp a scrap with a point onto the miter gauge so that the point is touching the level at the front. Move the miter gauge along the level and see if the point gaps or becomes resistant at any point along the level. When you know that the slots are parallel to the blade, you can use the slots to set the fence. Set a 3/4 inch scrap in a slot, then move the fence against it as a reference. Adjust your fence as needed. And note, I prefer to have my fence with a slight toe out, so I place a small spacer up front before setting my fence. Now you can check the blade for accuracy. Set it to 0, then make a cut using the miter gauge. Since the cutoff might want to flip and lose orientation for checking, make 2 marks on the scrap before making the cut so that after you cut, you can flip it and check that there is no gap. I'm gonna go ahead and leave out how to check the bandsaw because it's the same process. Make a cut, flip it, and see if there's the gap. You can also use this technique to check your circular saw. Moving on to the drill press. You can grab a short scrap of wood and drive a screw through. Now flip it over and drive in another screw. Chuck one thread into the drill press. Now raise the deck so that the other screw tip is resting lightly on a washer that's placed on the drill press's deck. If your table is flat, you should be able to move the washer to any spot on the deck and it lightly be touching the washer. That is not the sound you want to hear. If yours is slightly out like mine, loosen the table and adjust so the point of the screw is touching the washer the same amount no matter where it is. Of course, if you find a tool that is slightly out, whether it be the fence on the table saw or the bevel on a miter saw, then you just need to look up your specific brand of that tool and part and figure out how to make the adjustment. I would love to give you that information, but of course every brand does have slight variances. So I hope that you learned something, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much for checking out this video. If you would like another project to tackle, don't forget that I have templates for this folding Adirondack chair. Of course, it's an Adirondack chair, but then you can tuck it away into this nice sleek profile for either storing it during winter or just simply after a party. You can click right here to get your templates.